I am the Product and Development Director for Green Hippo, Hippotizer media servers, which are a series of live event media servers used throughout fixed installations, live events, and events worldwide. The Hippotizer media servers deliver some of the largest spectaculars and visual events around the world, including large theme parks, the Super Bowl halftime show, the Oscars, even World Wrestling's WrestleMania. Hippotizer media servers offer a unique combination of ease of use and real-time control, enabling our users to drive LED walls and projection mapping, creating unique visuals, leaving their audience with memorable visuals.
The second part of the Stadiums and Arena videos is about engagement. And after this, I'm going to talk to Ryan, who's our product director rather, for Hippotizer and all things Green Hippo. Hey Ryan, how are you?
Very well. How about yourself?
Living the dream. Actually, yeah, it's
Indeed
fantastic. So this we've been building up for this so long. It's brilliant to see it here. I picked up a couple of installs for us to talk about briefly, and kind of the easy trap to kind of fall into would be to picture like a stadium tour in an arena, and that's clearly not what we're talking about, is it?
No, it's not. I think what you said in the beginning, Mark, was absolutely spot on. With a stadium is a village. Indeed, it's a city. And what we have here are two use cases that are part of that village. Now, as you mentioned, very frequently there are rock and roll tours or huge arena shows coming into a stadium, and quite often they use Hippotizer as well. But that's a very different approach to how, to who's using it, who owns it, and indeed how they control it. So what we're talking about here are very much centered around installations within the arena or within the stadium. What you've got here is the Puskar Center. This is actually in the locker room, believe it or not, where Hippotizer is driving a series of direct LED walls in the locker room. And actually, what was interesting is we were brought on the project because of our ability to deal with the mapping. So basically, as you can see, thank you. As you can see, there's actually 5 different displays throughout the room. Critically, they're in different aspect ratios. And one of the key challenges we came up against was the content that was created. So the images and the videos were all created the same. So they were basically the same 16:9 content that needed to be applied intelligently to all these different displays. And the customer really didn't want to have to create content 2 and 3 times. And that's where Hippotizer came in. We were able to handle the playback, and using our built-in mapping system called Video Mapper, which you can see in the top right corner, we were able to actually dynamically map the content onto these displays, changing as needed as different content was delivered. We also were able to use our integrated visualizer to show the customer what it would look like, and enable the content creation team to actually pre-visualize everything before they went to site. Again, really to smooth nerves. You can tell people we can map the outputs, but they have to see it to believe it, I think. And letting them see it before they got to site really made things easier, and ensured everything worked just perfectly when they needed it to.
And the second example I picked up was this. And I know we can't say who the end user is with sort of secrecy, but this was a really interesting application. I know all of us in the marketing and sales team were really interested when you introduced this to us the first off.
I'd love to. So what this was this is a large soccer or football, depending on where you're from, stadium, where during COVID, they were installing lots and lots of LED walls around the stadium because essentially without any audience there because of COVID restrictions, they wanted to make the cameras see more interesting things. So the solution they came up with was to deploy lots and lots of LED walls around the stadium. The challenge they ran into was their existing playout system wasn't able to drive those LED walls very intelligently. So they could play content onto them quite easily. But what happens if you want to splash across the entire stadium goal, or you want to be able to sell an advert or an advertisement to a single vendor and say, look, Coca-Cola, how would you like to see your logo across the entire stadium looking correct from the point of view of the camera? The current existing solution just can't do that. So what we were able to step in with the Hippetizer, and working very closely with the LED wall provider, so the integrator, using our mapping systems to map the content into the stadium real time. So what that means is, even though there were lots and lots of LED walls, and I think you can kind of see it in the top right slide here, but there are actually several different sizes of walls. The top band is 15,000 pixels wide and 90 pixels high, so very, very wide aspect ratio. But there's also higher resolution and kind of more normal 16:9 walls off to the right and left that you can't see in these images. We're driving all of that from one system. And what we're able to do with our mapping solution is push content to all of those LED walls at the same time from the point of view of a camera, by working in 3D space. And I don't want to go too deep into that, because I as you know, Mark, I could go for hours. But I think it's important, what we're doing here is we're using our mapping functionality, so the ability to apply content to the LED walls in a clever way to make the content creation process simpler. And I think that's really where we saw a lot of benefit. And for me, working with the customer and the end customer, that was what was so eye-opening for me, is the content creators just don't have time. They're not plugged in with the design enough to be able to develop content specifically for these applications. So to be able to hand them basically say, look, give us the content, we'll handle all the mapping, we'll deal with everything, really was a great way for them to work. And the output, the actual end result was stunning. And I'm very happy to say it's in use today. I just unfortunately can't say with whom, unfortunately, the NDAs.
Awesome, brilliant. And I hope this session, thanks Ryan, I hope this session has just given you like a high level view of Core Master family. And it's a family, and Green Hippo, the Hippetizer complete family as well.